Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today we're talking about accounting fees, and I'm here with May from our firm here. So May, thanks for joining us today. May's new at the firm, so May, tell us a little bit about your educational background arriving here at the firm.
I graduated from NAIT, and I graduated with a degree, and accounting has been a big part of my life. I was in the accounting club, I did tax volunteering, and I just want to help businesses as many as I can.
Excellent. So she's sufficiently nerdy enough to work here with the rest of us. So that's excellent. Accounting club and accounting degree, excellent. So the quote that I have here today, it's from Redditor, who he used to specialize in extinguishing and capping oil well fires. So big, serious business. And he said, if you think it's expensive to hire a professional, wait till you hire an amateur. And the statistic that I'll have concerning this accounting fee topic is one of our favorite ones, is 50% of all businesses, they're out of business in 5 years. And 29% of these businesses are out of businesses because they've run out of cash. So the story that we have, business owners, they come to us and they have no idea how much they should be paying for fees. They're looking for an accountant. But even more importantly, they have no idea about how much inadequate service will cost them if they make the wrong selection in an accountant, moreover than just the accounting fees, so they end up paying extra tax. So May, what do you think are the questions that are important that these business owners should be asking when they're looking how much they should pay for an accountant and hiring an accountant?
Well, they should be asking, what are the 3 ways accountants normally charge?
So the 3 ways that they're normally charged is, number one, the conventional way is by the hour. So the accountant puts in an hour, they bill the client 1 hour. The second way is the accountant is going to charge them a flat fee, but usually a flat fee per service, so a flat fee per year. And then the third way is the accountant is going to charge a flat fee every single month, so a set fee every single month. The overwhelming majority are charging hourly fees. The old school, you put in an hour, you get billed for an hour. There are, some charging flat fees by the service, so a flat fee for the year end, and probably even more rare is accountants charging a flat fee by month. So those are the 3 ways.
So speaking of hourly, how does hourly billing often create an adversarial relationship?
Yeah, the hourly billing, it really does create that adversarial relationship because, the accountant is they have this motivation to take longer. So, the longer they take, the more they get paid. And I'm not sure that's the best way. I'm not sure that's putting everybody on the same page. As the accountant, investing in the templates and equipment and technology to do their job quicker. And not only that, every time the client calls up the accountant, they're wondering, hey, do I really need this work? Or does the accountant just want to make some extra money this month off of me? And I put in some extra hours. So I think it takes away a little bit of that trust relationship because, they kind of have competing motivations, right? So sometimes the accountant could be doing something that maybe is not absolutely necessary, and sometimes there's something absolutely necessary that needs to be done, but the client doesn't have the confidence to let them exercise their professional judgment because they're wondering if it's just going to be an unnecessary cost.
Mm-hmm. So what is required before the accountant provides a fee quote?
So in order for the accountant to provide a fee quote, they have to have, in Alberta, a CPA has to have a complete understanding of the business. So sometimes clients, they call up, ring, hello, how much does it cost for accounting services? It's kind of like calling up a car dealership and saying, how much does it cost for a car? It depends. Well, what car do you want? What options do you want? What's going on in a business? It's even more so. You have to have a complete understanding of what's going on in the business. How big is this business? How many employees are in this business? What's been happening in the past? Where is this business going in the future? What sort of challenges does it have? Is it being audited for the last 8 years from CRA? Are we planning on selling this thing? Do we want to grow this thing? That'll start to give the accountant an idea of how much work is involved. A fee quote that just comes over the phone in 10 seconds is just not worth it. I wish I could talk to people out there, and before they do that, it doesn't matter if you get a fee quote or not. It's not going to be realistic. There's no way to unless they have some sort of a clairvoyance. Yep. There's no way for someone to accurately project what the fees are going to be without having that complete understanding of the business.
So when account quote a fee for the year end, what does this include?
Normally, the year end, the fee for the year end, it's only going to include the corporate year end, so the financial statements and the corporate tax return. So sometimes it's going to include a personal return, but normally it's just financial statements, corporate tax return. So people, when they do get a fee quote, they might be thinking it means something else or more than that, but it's just set of financial statements, corporate tax return, full stop. That's normally what's included in a flat fee quote.
So, in regards to the flat fees, how do monthly flat fees demonstrate that the firm is confident in the services?
So generally when a firm is charging monthly flat fees, they're confident that it's providing everything that the customer required, because if the customer becomes unhappy, they're probably going to stop paying those flat fees. So whether people charge an annual flat fee, and sometimes they get that annual flat fee up front, they lock them in, right? We have your money, we have a set fee, we have a contract for this amount, pay us this amount. Where if it's monthly, it requires that the client is happy moving through the process, not just at one particular point in time. So I think it just demonstrates that confidence that the firm thinks that they can actually, they've quoted the right amount of work, not too much, not too little, and the client's going to have a good outcome of the work too, because they're going to start to see what's the outcome, what's the tax I'm going to pay on that. And the accountant's confident that the client is going to be satisfied with that, and continue to be a client, continue to pay the monthly fees.
And how does the monthly fees improve cash flow for a business?
Yeah, I mean, businesses, whenever possible, they want to avoid these one-time, lump sum charges, because that's not how, they get paid. They don't get paid. The accountant wants to charge you in June when they do your December year end. The client doesn't get all their revenue in June. So they can be staring on the barrel of a big bill, but they only have 1/12 revenue in that month, but they're asking to pay the accounting fee for all 12 months. So that poses a bit of a challenge, right? And of course, sometimes they can manage with accounting fees, but think if all of your fees were like that, if you had to pay all your entire phone bill, and you had to pay all your rent, and you had to pay it all in 1 month, that's going to be a challenge. So anytime you can smooth out that cash flow, it's better for business. There's less stress on the cash flow for the business.
And if you're looking to keep expenses low, why does it make sense to pay for planning?
Yeah, so it makes sense to pay for planning because there's a number of things that will often be excluded from flat fees. So like I said before, they're only going to have the year end and tax return included with those flat fees. But often they're excluding planning. They're excluding the CRA call up and ask for any questions. What about the T4 and T5? What about the personal tax return? It kind of drives me nuts. It's one of my big pet peeves of accountants is they give a fee quote, but they quote for a very narrow range of service, knowing full well that the client is going to need more and they're going to ask to do more throughout the year. It's kind of like the construction guys. They want to give the low bid. They want to be the low bid on the job, knowing full well as soon as they knock down the wall, they're going to say, "Oh, I didn't know that this 75-year-old house had brass wiring behind it." Of course, you knew that what was behind the wall. You knew a reasonable amount of work that's going to be done. So it's the same thing with the planning. Should planning be done? Of course, it does make sense for planning to be done because the accounting fee is going to be so much less than what the tax that business owner is going to pay. And without any planning, that business owner is going to start to make bad tax decisions and bad business decisions that are going to far outweigh the accounting fee. The accounting fee, quite frankly, is going to end up being insignificant normally in the scheme of things compared to how much tax we're going to pay and how much bad business decisions are going to cost. So if you're looking to keep expenses low, you want to have someone on your side, and not just someone on your side, but a process in place that you can keep your single biggest expense of your entire life minimized, which is tax. And the way to do that is have an efficient plan in place.
And how long does planning take compared to tax returns and financial statements?
Yeah, that's a great question. So sometimes people think planning is just the afterthought, and the actual financial statements and the tax returns, those are what take time. With modern software these days, the tax returns and financial statements, almost it's not unusual for those to take a lot less time than doing the plan. So believe it or not, the plan takes more time than doing the tax returns and financial statements. We're using software that's using text recognition software. It's pulling feeds, automatic feeds from the bank statements. It's sometimes you can do a year end in a financial statements in 2 to 4 hours. But the plan is going to take you far longer than that. So in terms of how long it takes, a lot of people don't do planning because it takes longer, not because it's not required. They don't have an efficient way to do the planning.
And how can you determine if the planning quoted will be adequate?
So all you have to do if you're out there searching for an accountant is, the accountant will tell you, oh yeah, we do planning. When you ask them, it's like, okay, what do those plans look like when you're done? They should be able to pull out a document and they should be able to go through it and say, hey, this is what we're going to consider. These are the items that we're going to give recommendations on. This is the outcomes. This is how we quantify if the plan is working, if it's not working. And it should be meaningful to you. It should address all the questions that you go into the office. Often we have, clients who come in and say they have lots of questions. And as soon as we take them through the plan, it's like, man, your plan answers all of our questions. It's like, that's what it was designed for, right? So the accountant should be able to show you what a formal plan looks like. And it shouldn't be 1 or 2 pages that spits out from a tax program. It's something that's actually going to require a little bit of work. Our template here is it's 30 pages, that we're going through. That's the starting point for the template. So it should be a meaningful document. There should be a meaningful deliverable that they can show you. And if they don't have that systematic approach, either A, the planning is going to take too long, or B, they're just not going to do the planning. So again, if you're wondering if the planning is going to be adequate, ask them to see what the plan is likely to look like once it's done. So that's all the time we have here today. Again, if you have any questions, I'd like you to leave a comment below and hit that subscribe button. We look forward to having you back again. Thanks very much.